Fantastic. Okay, so we will start in just a minute, okay? I think there's.
We're going to hit the mute button. So yes, it is going to look like our audio's gone out.
All right, while we're getting ready to start, I just wanted to remind you that towards the end, we will be talking about individuals' case studies. And if you have anything that you'd like to share, it's always a lot more fun if we have people who are participating and sharing case studies so that we can all pitch in our expertise from across your region. So just be thinking about that for a minute.
It can even be as simple as, does anyone have any ideas for such and such situation? It doesn't have to be about a student. It could be about staff training or family use or community use, things like that.
Absolutely.
So in that conversation that we just had, is the audio still smooth or is it going in and out? Good.
Okay, Leah. Super. Thank you, Leah. All right, so we can go ahead and get started. For those of you who are already here, do you mind clicking the attendees? Super. Can you let us know who you are and where you're coming from and what you do? And also, some of the feedback that we've had from the surveys that you do is that with this new format, it's really hard when the words are not in the chat box. So Jessica and I are very diligently trying to remember, mostly Jessica, trying to remember to put that text down in the chat box so that you can see what it is. So who's here? Gibson County, PTAT. Lisa, thank you so much. Fantastic. PT and AT, you're busy, aren't you? All right. Super. Leah, South Whitley, functional skills teacher, 6 through 12. Perfect. And Cindy, an SLP from Lagodi. Yay! Fantastic. Karen Dishman, assistive technology for Evansville Schools. Fantastic. I'm always happy to see you. Yep, Lisa. And Sheila is from Warwick County, PT, AT. Oh, fantastic. Oh, we got some commonalities between some busy people here on our staff, which makes me even happier that you're here and that at the end of your long day that you're willing to spend some extra time with us. Thanks so much for being here. And if you haven't introduced yourself and you'd like to, do it anytime. We'll make sure that we acknowledge and let everybody know who you are. Woo. Thanks. All right, so just a little, we've got Candy, special education teacher, life skills, North Spencer County. Fantastic, Candy. Good to see you, or good to hear you. Good to look at your typing. And Angela English from an SLP from South Spencer. Wow, we've got a good wide range of people here today, which is always more exciting to me. Fantastic, thanks. So I provided a little graphic about what we do. Basically, Jessica and I are on, and Karen Dishman, we're on a team, a community of practice for communication for the state of Indiana. And part of our mission from that group, where we like to discuss things like students who have little to no communication and how we want to make sure that we are valuing their voices and respecting who they are, but also how do we handle issues like testing and different things that are state requirements. So that's where the meeting was born. And now part of what I do is I am on a smaller subcommittee where this regional meeting is part of what we would like to do so that you can learn from each other, use each other as resources. I know we're doing a lot of talking now, but we would eventually like to see this hand over with a different format that allows you to be unmuted whenever you choose to, not when you have to ask. And again, if you would like to talk, please just say unmute me and we'll do it. It's unfortunately just something that we have to do. But to empower you to be able to find commonalities, I think that we all kind of feel like we're out there floating around sometimes, that we don't need to feel that way. We've got a lot of support under our fingertips. So thank you. We have a couple of promises that we like to keep for our sessions. One, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you this heads up because I mentioned this before.
Did we introduce ourselves?
Oh, can you tell we've already had a meeting and it's the end of a very long day? I'm Rachel Herron. I am a patent specialist, and my areas are accessible educational materials on the primary level, MAC accessibility and content authoring. And I'm a special education teacher. I've worked in life skills classrooms, worked with kids with emotional and behavioral disturbances. I've worked in assistive technology since about 2008, and happy to be on this team. And
I'm Jessica Conrad. I'm a speech language pathologist and patent specialist in the areas of AAC, early interventions, accessible education materials, the specification and technology related to that, and tutorial development. And I've been an SLP working with students from 3 to 22.
Absolutely. So thank you. Who are these people in front of us? Unless you've been here before, then you already know. So some of our promises are that we like to discuss student cases, anything that you want to talk about with it. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm having this terrible problem. It could just be something that you want to share. But we have a active group discussion at the end. And we like to make sure that we provide an AT corner, something that you can walk away with and use just right away. So Jessica, would you like to share our AT corner?
So Karen Dishman and I and Julie Kuhn and many other people, therapists and AT people, have on a different committee, on a different fruit from that tree that Rachel was showing, created this AAC communication assessment list, because what we got back from feedback was, if we have a new student to our district or we're embarking on creating a new AAC system for a student, we don't know what assessments are out there and we don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. And we need progress monitoring tools and we need them right now. So you guys are among the first to see this. I am going to...
The unveiling.
Woo! This has been many months of dedicated work. I'm going to put the link in there so you guys can see it and feel free to share it. So this is a...
Oh, hang on for a second. Angela, you have your hand up. Is there something that you need, or is that... Would you like to say something or be unmuted? Right now, Angela English is like, oh my gosh, are they talking to me? Let us know if you needed something, yes. Okay?
So this AAC assessment list, you should be able to look at it in the link on the side.
Oh, no, totally good.
Sorry. Glad you're okay, Angela. Mm-hmm. There are assessments kind of organized so that you can use them as progress monitoring tools, whether they are checklists where, just kind of informally gathering data into one spot, or is it a scored test? And are these assessments free? Like all you need to do is get on the internet and grab it. So for example, if you're interested in this AAC Evaluation Genie app, you can just click on it. Oh, and I see people are starting to get into the document.
Yay, come on.
And you can see the description, what features there are, what ages it might be appropriate for. And we also wanted to remind you, if you are interested in this app or maybe, a larger app, maybe a $200-300 app that you don't want to pay for yet, but you would like to trial, remember you can borrow from the Patents Library. We can send you the iDevice with the app loaded, or if you already have an iPad and you would like for us to send the app, in most cases we can do that. There seems to be an issue if your school district is using FileShare or FileWave. We're not able to do that, but if your student has a device from home that they're willing to bring in, we can send it and put it on that student's device. So
it's like magic.
It is really magical. So this is a masterpiece that's always going to be edited. I would not recommend printing this out and using it because we're going to be adding to it. We just found another screener this week that I need to add on there. So, save the link and use it and feel free to share it. There's an assessment on here that Rachel really loves.
Oh, I do. Thank you for letting me talk about it. So when I was the AT coordinator for a co-op here in Indiana, we, a lot of times I feel like there's just so much information out there that people don't know where to start. And I know that it's, you don't want to fall into your same rut because every student is individual, but you might need something different. So AT Matchup was developed by Johns Hopkins. And basically what it does is it allows you to go in and pick your area. So you can see here the list at the bottom, you have academic, writing, auditory, but let's click on communication. And you have receptive and expressive language. So let's do expressive. And then as you see, it's generated a list for you of all of the different things that you might be able to use. It tells you how much it is. It takes you to just best uses. And I really think that this is a valuable tool, especially if you're just not sure where to start. So definitely for communication, but even more than that, in general, for any student that you might need some extra help with. So anyway, thanks for letting me share.
Yep. It's a cool tool.
So if you have any questions about the AT Corner, I mean, again, hot off the press for you. So it is a beginning. And if you have suggestions to make, always let it, fluid device or fluid document. All right. And so another thing that we really like to do is make sure that you're aware of things that are happening in the state. You're able to have the opportunity to share things that are happening in your own communities that you might be able to collaborate within your region and figure out, we're doing this training, come on over. So one of the things, and shameless plug for Patton's, but this is a free text expo. And when we say free, we mean no cost to you. We will buy you breakfast. We will buy you lunch. And it's basically based on vendors. The fall conference, which is a pay conference, it focuses more on strategies and, people coming in and talking more about the process. But this is this is vendor based, and there's a hall, an exhibition hall. And then there are plenty of times to be able to go to different sessions to hear what vendors have to say. So if you've been wondering about a different device, then, you can come in there, hear everything they have to say, talk to them, get free trials sometimes from different vendors that are out there. So I find it really, really beneficial. And we highlighted some of the schedule at the glance for that day. It's on April 12th, and it's an all-day event. But these were some of the different, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on?
So PRC is going to be there doing a session on alternative access, and Toby Donavox will be doing a session on promoting literacy for AAC users. That's going to be really cool. Apple is sending a few people out to do a session on Apple tools for special needs, so tools for all learners. And then Lazy Tech, they do a lot of switch access devices for computer access. They're doing a session. And then Speak Modalities, which I think we've talked about in this session. They are the, out of Purdue, the creators of the iPad app that looks a lot like Picture Exchange Communication System PEX. So Speak All or Speak More, they'll be out there talking about their app and how it can be used.
Super. All right. And other trainings around the area in Indiana, these have been on here for the past couple of meetings if you've been here, but they haven't happened yet. So we're keeping them here for you. The LAMP training at Clark Middle School in St. John, Indiana. And then there's a PEX training in Indianapolis at the end of April. Those are both, I know that the PEX training is a paid conference. And then elsewhere, we were focusing on free resources. I have taken classes from the AAC Institute, and I think that that's a really good free resource. You can do it at your own time if you'd like to know if you're starting out with AAC and you need a base, a beginning. It's really a good service for that. And then there's this other resource.
Yes, Everyone Communicates. I think this is from, we were just talking about her name. I think it's Judy Bailey.
Judy Bailey.
She curated a really nice list of online free courses and materials, and I'm going to put this link into the screen for you, but you guys are going to get a copy of the slides so you can find this again at your leisure on our Facebook page or on your region's Facebook page. If you are not part of that region's Facebook page, let us know. We'll make sure we get you the link.
Yes.
But I wanted to point out this first one that they list, the Angelman Syndrome Foundation, has a great series of webinars. There are tons and tons of hours on there. Just really great resources, not just for students with Angelman syndrome, but just great stuff for AC users, reading, writing, lots of great literacy supports and thoughts about training communication partners, things like that. Karen says, some great AAC idea.
Oh yeah, Karen Dishman just came across this site last week. It's great, isn't it? I mean, we initially saw it and thought, oh, we should be inventing this, and then we thought, why reinvent the wheel? She's already compiled the most amazing resources.
So there are a lot of really great ones. I wanted to highlight the Angelman syndrome specifically, and then there was another one.
Oh, the minimal,
supporting communication of individuals with minimal movement. From Susan Faber and Dable Buchelman, also a really great resource there. But lots of really great, I would say, like, even though they're free, very high quality.
Fantastic. All right, and definitely we have a patents. I mean, for those of you who are not familiar with what we do, we provide free professional development for all teachers in Indiana, K through 12, who support IEPs that are public, but we also are very invested in UDL and will come out and work with any teachers at the public schools. And one of the things that we do is we have a training calendar that also has free webinars that you can attend if you want them. But there's one on April 24th. It's actually the week of our next round of meetings for the communication regional meetings. But it's Expecting Achievement, Universal Design for Learning and Access to the Curriculum for Low Verbal to No Verbal Students. That's hosted by Julie Kuhn, who is one of our staff members. And I think it's going to be a really good session. She's promised focusing on how we include kids in universally designed and gen ed classrooms. And I know that, from the feedback that we've gotten from the groups, that's definitely a hot topic. So think about that and feel free to register for it. We have a registration link there for you if you would like to register for that.
And it is limited to, I think, 25 people. So
yeah.
If there is a run on it, or you feel like, oh, this would be a great session, but during our professional development time on Wednesdays with my, life skills and gen ed teachers, whatever that group can be, you can request that Julie do this just for your school district. She'd be happy to do that.
All right, and one last resource, Tweet. I know that Karen has participated, and I don't know if other members of this community have participated, but we do a Twitter chat every Tuesday night at 8:30. There's one tonight, and it's a Patents ICAM hashtag. But on March 21st, very specific to our group, the topic is communication strategies for students with intense needs, and it is fast moving, full of fun, great resources, good ways to get information out there and to receive information back. Lurking is fine.
It's just fine if you just want to get on at the end. We have someone that goes through and storifies, like turns all those tweets into something you can just sit down and read, and you still get a PGP point for it. Mm-hmm. So you get a PGP point for showing up in your PJs at 8:30, or you can read it the next day as you wish. But as several of you, I recognize some of your names, know that we love new people, and it is a really fun, fast half hour and a great way to get a PGP.
PGP, yeah, you know me. All right, anybody have opportunities in your area that you would like to share? Something that you might have somebody attend from another region around you, or anything upcoming that's noteworthy?
We were talking about this in some of our other sessions. If you have any summer events coming up,
right.
I know a lot of school districts will put on sessions that don't necessarily cater to you or what your students are going to need. Let us know about that, because we work during the summer. We come out to those e-learning sessions, and we come out to your professional development. So if there's 12 sessions for the PE teachers and the gen ed teachers, and you want something for staff that are supporting students with complex communication needs, let us know. We'll come out and we'll do something so that you can get, some professional development during the summer.
Yeah, especially if you have a boat. We'll hang out for the weekend. All right, so we'll continue on, but if you come up with any opportunities for your area, please feel free to pop them in anytime, and we'll make sure that we disseminate that information. All right. Rachel and Jessica road trip. Kristen Siever Cofer made that little picture of us, and I have laughed and laughed. Yeah. So we'll come to you.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are going up in 2 weeks. We're going up to MSD Bluffton has invited us up in the south or northeast region. Mm-hmm. They asked us to come and visit their school and take a look at some kids. So, remember, as we're coming out with some stuff, Oh
no!
Lisa informed us the UDL training is already full. You know what that means. Julie has to do
She
another.
has to do one for
We've
you.
been promoting this, and you guys are the last meeting
Yeah.
of the day, so of course.
Yep. That means she has to come to you and specifically do it for you. Did you see that reaction on our part? No. Thank you for letting us know. But yeah, she will do that for your team or for another group of people. So
just might have to have a May or a round 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for letting us know that, Lisa, so much. Sorry to interrupt. We will come to you.
Yes. So the road trip, we come out, and as we're talking about, the last 20 minutes of this is going to be about student questions or questions that you have. And a lot of times, sometimes it just works a lot better if we can come to you and road trip out. Cindy can tell you from firsthand experience. We came out to Lagodi. Gosh, it's been a month and a half ago, and hooked up some kids with some apps, and got to hear, some good things about that. So just let us know if you'd like for us to come out. We are probably the best people to invite, wouldn't you say?
I would absolutely agree with that.
Mostly because we're excited to see you. We're excited to see the kids, and we have nothing but good news for you.
Right. Enthusiasm overload. Well, we'll tone it down if that's not your style. So think about road trips and let us know. Feel free to email us, ask us on Facebook, anything that you want. All right. Who has something that they would like to celebrate? I know we just went through the first round of testing, so you might have some celebration, large or small, that has to do with that. Anything good out there? That cake looks amazing right now. It's 4:30 our time. I think it's cake time. You had a celebration, didn't you?
Oh, I wanted to celebrate Lagodi specifically because the teacher figured out a way to make sure all of the assistants were trained. So we set up GoToWebinars for like 25 minutes. They were great troopers because we had some technical issues, but we got through, and I'd come in at like 11:12, and then we had to stop at 11:42 and make sure that all the assistants got the same training in supporting a student with Proloquo to Go.
Yes. So, amazing. I can't think of better people to train than your paraprofessional staff, making sure that the people who are in the trenches with the kids every single day know exactly how to do it. Oh, Karen, go ahead.
So in Evansville, Vanderburg, with the help of moi, we are going to pilot some core vocabulary use in 4 of our classrooms.
Oh,
I'm so
terrific.
excited about that.
Oh, that makes me really happy.
Which, side note, we need to figure out when I'm coming into those preschool classrooms. Email me, Kristen.
Get out
Karen.
Get out your calendars, guys.
Get out your calendars right now.
Fantastic. That is a huge reason to celebrate.
I am super, super excited. Waiting for the teachers. Yeah. It's hard to coordinate so many people.
It is.
But yes, so if you are in the position of like, gosh, piloting core vocabulary, and what does that look like? Email me. I have a fantastic sales pitch for you that is mostly free and just going to cost you some printer ink and some lamination for some really awesome things to happen.
Yeah, I love it. Anybody else have a celebration?
Even if it means we're this much closer to spring break.
Oh my gosh. I know. Hanging on for those last moments before Disney or something. Yeah. Not Disney for me.
Pajama time.
Yes. Well, if you have celebrations, please continue to share them throughout, and we'll make sure that we acknowledge them. Oh, wait. Free CEUs.
Free CEUs. Angela.
What is that? Ooh. Oh, yeah. Leah wants to look at the core vocabulary info.
Leah, I'm going to have to... Leah, I'm going to put my email address because I can tell you right now the way the system is set up, I'm not going to be able to
see it again.
So if you email me and say, like, remember it's Leah.
Yes.
I want to know. I will definitely get back with you.
Oh, continuing ed unit. Yeah.
Yes, but wait, what are we referring
to? Free CEUs. Yeah. No, I knew what CEUs were.
I didn't know what she was referring to.
Yeah, where are you getting your free CEUs is probably a better question.
Free CEUs of the things that we just showed, like the Angelman.
Oh!
Is that what we're talking about? Because I'm always celebrating free CEUs.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially if
I love it. I love it. Do you like how we were both like, what is that? Continuing ed, what? We also have to get those. Fantastic. That is something to celebrate. Okay, super. Please continue to throw them out there as you get them, and we will celebrate with you. All right, AIM shout out. I know that Karen, you're on the AIM team, and I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to celebrate. And just a quick overview for anybody who is not part of an AIM team or does not know about the AIM grant is Patents hosts 8 school corporations each year who apply for a grant. And if you receive it, then you have a myriad of things that happen that I think are pretty wonderful. One is you receive Snap and Read, which is a text reader with lots of bells and whistles, and UPAR, which is a reading protocol that helps you really figure out where your kids are with their reading levels and where they are when they're not asked to visually read with their auditory reading and how they process and where they are grade level wise. And I think that that's amazing. It's a program to try to help with a lot of support or as much as you need. We have some districts that are amazing, Evansville, who are really doing well on their own. But to make sure that your accessible educational materials are up to speed and that you are able to get a system in place so that kids get their materials right in their hands when they need it. And the other part of that is an augmentative communication piece where you can select you can select a device or devices for students to be able to get the devices for free. So that's really cool for us. Oh, and Karen just pitched in that it spread like crazy through the district and you're looking forward to trying the new Snap and Read app. That is super exciting. We just got to see it at a conference last week. I did.
Have you selected your student for the communication piece of that? Of the grant? Has your student been selected and submitted? I know the team that I'm supporting, actually down the hallway, we're about to go in and do our assessment piece.
Oh, she could hear. It was my coughing fit. I'm sorry.
We were just wondering with the communication component of this AIM grant, which Rachel kind of talked about, because it's really neat when you have this team created and then they're really excited about making sure all the educational materials are accessible. And then on top of this is the communication piece. So this is a great opportunity for school districts that maybe they don't really have a process for figuring that out. And this is a great opportunity to try to create that process and make sure that students are getting what they need. So this is a great grant. I think it's going to be opening up probably in May. And then open throughout the summer and closing in August. I would say as far as grant applications go, it's the easiest grant application
I've ever seen. Yeah.
It's not a 20-page thesis. It's a Google form. So
yeah, absolutely.
It is.
And Karen, we need to schedule a time to talk about the communication piece. Done. We'll do that this week. Tell me more about the Snap and Read app. Oh, fantastic. So basically what she's referring to is there's a text reader through Don Johnston, the company, that allows a text reader. And then it also has study tools that go along with it, a translator, a text leveler to bring so that you're accommodating reading, not modifying reading to keep kids on diploma track. It's a pretty incredible piece. And the app is added. If you've done Google Read and Write, it's the same kind of idea where you can just make it, you can click and make it start so that you can use it. You know, it's pretty much, it's just something that you can layer over the text that's already there. I'm not saying that very well, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, it has a lot of the same compatibility. I think the only thing that it doesn't do is translate. I think that's the only thing that it doesn't do, but I think it probably will, you know, as they develop it more. And it's in the beta process right now. So basically,
hopefully in the next 10 months?
April, I think is what they say.
Oh, so, wow, that's really quick.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's almost there.
That's awesome.
They said they had to be rejected by Apple before they're accepted. Is it just on the web or in other apps? You actually add it through your tools, and then you go into your your general area, and then you go into the settings. Thank you, settings. I'm losing words like crazy. And then you can just activate it through the settings, and then you can activate it when you need it.
So it can work on other apps.
It layers over everything. Yeah,
the Bookshare app.
Yes, you can layer it. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, sweet. Absolutely. All right. So if you have any questions about the grant, please contact us. We encourage anybody to apply for it because I think it's just kind of life-changing. I was on a grant team before I was hired by Patton's, and it is really remarkable.
If you were thinking something like this would be interesting and you need a pitch in which like your administrators start breaking out sobbing because they're so excited about the students and like students' lives being changed, Rachel's your person too.
I will tell them my stories that happened in the district where I was helping implement this, and they life-changing. Oh, dang it. Life-changing for children. So I know that that's our goal. All right. Okay, and we're going to actually go over we're not going to go over that because we already shared that information with you. We just wanted to share your information with other teams because you guys are great. So the part that we've been waiting for, any student cases, issues, anything that you'd like to share that's happening that you're proud of in your district, or things that you might want to get other viewpoints from other people. Does anybody have anything?
Been some of the things.
Oh, we were really, really lucky to have, while you're thinking, we were really lucky to have Karen Stein, who is with the DOE for testing, talk to one of our groups. I think it was the Southeast team yesterday about iStar and to really answer some of those meaty questions that people have, whether you can cut the test up, what you have to do. What you do have to do is you have to do a non-standardization.
Non-standard
accommodations form. I always say that. Form if you want to do something different because you are changing the test. But she will be actually back with us in our next meeting to answer even more questions. So definitely think about that. Thoughts on students who use echolalic speech and use of AAC?
That question, and then we've got another.
Any ideas for transition assessments with students with limited mobility and nonverbal? Oh, those are good questions.
Two really good questions. Yeah. So if you, for either one, have any follow-up questions, let's start with Karen. Karen, can we unmute you? Actually, instead of asking you, I'm just going to send the request.
She's just going to do it. Yes. Thank you. Thank goodness you said yes, because she did it. Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So, Karen, you have questions about like a student who uses echolalic speech and uses AAC. So, is the question, should you be using AAC? Or tell us more.
Yes. I mean, for instance, we have some students with autism that do have speech. It's mostly scripted or echolalic. They will answer some questions, really simple ones, but it takes them longer, to process. And I was experimenting using some AAC on the iPad with one of the students today and just kind of wondered, whether that was an okay route to go. He tends to repeat things, so my hope was thinking that he would develop more, the right words that he's looking for.
Functional language, yeah.
Yeah. But wasn't really sure. It's just kind of something that was floating through my head.
If anyone else has any comments, but I would say, that echolalic speech is really exciting to have. It's a great part of that language development because it usually indicates that there's, more functional language going to be unveiled the more good input that you give. But I think my view, and not everyone's view, so if you disagree with me, don't feel like, you're disagreeing with me, you're disagreeing with the thought. But
I might disagree with her just for fun.
I think any opportunity that you can provide more visual structure for language is a good opportunity. And I worry about, removing that another multiple mean of communication. Just because a student can talk, it's not functional language. So often I have students that, like you say, there's certain contexts where they have functional language and then other contexts, whether there's anxiety or a sensory issue or something, they need that other means of communication. So I think introducing AAC, or at least giving it as an other option, is a great idea. I wouldn't, of course, recommend it only counts if they say it on the device. It counts however they say it, if it's understandable. So
I agree. I think I found it to be helpful for him so far.
Yep. And then, a lot of that repeating and that engagement, that's a really great way to get engagement is that, and it might look like stimming. And, a lot of you, I think, saw on our Facebook page, is it stimming or is it learning or is it babbling? So expecting some odd or some seemingly odd communication behaviors as they go through the robust AAC device and try, banana, 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 over and over again. That's just part of language development. And just like that echolalic or that scripting can be part of it. So, I think it's a good Band-Aid measure for now. And maybe it sticks with him his entire life, or it might just be something that he needs to use right now.
Thank you.
That's my perspective.
Thank you.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you asking questions.
All right, so I'm going to unmute you, or you can unmute yourself, Karen. And then we had the other question about, and I see Angela's other question, ideas for transition assessments for students with limited mobility and are nonverbal.
Yeah.
So
we have a transition specialist on our team.
Ooh,
and what
that
I'm
would be a
going to
great
do
question.
right now while we're talking, I pulled my computer out. I'm actually going to send her a message just asking if she has some good ideas for this. And if I don't receive an answer in that amount of time, then I am going to, do you like how I'm calling my lifeline? I am going to post them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the Facebook page?
And I deleted who sent that question in. Was it, who sent the question in for?
I think it was it Leah?
Was it Lisa? Leah. Okay, Leah did.
Leah, thank you. So Leah, are you on the Facebook page? Because if you're not, I will send this to you. And actually, Jessica got your email address in the last exchange. So,
Oh, okay.
Or you sent it to her, so
Yes.
we'll be able to be in contact with you. But I'm sending that message right now.
Who is, remind me who, are you, Sandy
Sandy.
Mall?
Mm-hmm.
Sandy Mall is our secondary transition specialist, and Vicki is our primary transition specialist. So some of those tests, I suppose. So the student that is nonverbal, do they have an AAC system already in place? Depending on the system, there might be some nice web-based ones that they might be able to access.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of that transition section, and part of me wants to look up that
You want to do it?
giant list.
All right, super. All right. So in the meantime, we're not forgetting. We have an iPad. Here, I can do that.
Okay, so I guess not really what I was thinking of, but we will definitely get you a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, super. Thank you so much, Leah. We appreciate it. We're using a switch. Okay. Okay, we will definitely come up with some answers for you. And I appreciate so much you asking questions. All right, so Angela, let me go ahead and get this posted. So preschool student, 4 years old, normal comprehension, has a small spot on brain. Severe apraxia, can imitate some CV combinations using
Prosody and sentence like mumbling.
Okay.
Yeah, so, he's talking, but nobody understands him. Do you recommend AAC? And if so, what? Yes, I recommend AAC because you have a student that has a very large gap between what they understand. The receptive and expressive language probably is there as far as you can tell, although I bet you probably can't get a good expressive language score off of him. But he's able to say a lot more. So yes, I would say AAC sounds like a really good selection. So the what question is probably the big question at this point. Sounds like he's a student that needs a lot of vocabulary and there's a lot of things out there. So probably in a situation like this, this would be a great time to consult with us, where we would sit down with you. I would sit down with you for maybe like 45 minutes, half an hour, and help problem solve what that would look like. And I can set you up. And who was the one? Was it? We aren't like putting people's names with these questions, so we delete them on our side, and so I don't know who asked what.
This was Angela.
Okay, Angela. Mm-hmm. So Angela, if you email me, his mom is teaching him sign, but I want to give her an educated recommendation. So yeah, and sign language, is part of AAC. I think a lot of parents, go to sign because it's something that we're all familiar with. I grew up watching sign language on Sesame Street, but of course the question is, are you going to be around people that sign when you're at the grocery store, and is, his friends in kindergarten going to understand his sign language? So this is something that, we can sit down with mom and have that conversation and kind of go through, okay, what does our student look like? What is his educational environment that he's going into next year look like? What are all the tasks that he needs to do? If he needs to go into a gen ed kindergarten, he needs to be able to say, after reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears, what's the difference between Papa Bear's chair and Baby Bear's chair? And if he doesn't have the language to do that, he's not accessing his, those core content connectors. Right. He's not accessing that. Right. So the whole range of everything, more than just wanting or saying wants and needs. So we can sit down and figure out what are those tasks that need to happen. And here are a few tools that you might trial and find out what works. So, lots of things could probably work, but until we sit down and kind of hammer out what those other SET, student environment, and tasks look like, we can hook you up with the right tool. So Angela, I could, spout out a few ideas, but I think it would be a lot better, more fine-tuned for your student in your special case. If you were to email me, we could sit down and chat. So is that something that we could set up for your little guy?
I'm sending her email address one more time. Definitely. Thanks.
Great.
Sandy, respond.
I have something at the office. I will get back with you tomorrow about the transition.
Okay, so we have a an answer, but it won't come in until later. So we'll make sure that we post it and that we make sure that it gets to you. Okay. Super. Wow, these are great questions and great scenarios and ideas. Anybody else have anything you want to discuss?
Great. We're going to get.
Yes, I put that in the notes.
Vocabulary and transition.
Yep, for Candy.
Info. Yeah. The core vocabulary stuff. Guess what would I put on the Facebook page?
Can you do the outline of what you've done? Are you talking about the weeks that you've planned?
Maybe.
But she's not on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, sidebar conversation. We are processing what you're asking, Candy. So Candy was asking for core vocabulary and transition assessment information too. So
Candy, I can certainly send you like some suggestions of boards that have been used, but if you want like more specific training or information, shoot me an email at that address, and I'll be happy to either set up a chat with you or send you those boards or whatever it is that you're looking for specifically. But honestly, the magic is not in the piece of paper. It's the training and the aided language input that all the staff gets. I would say that's
magic involved.
That's where the magic happens. That's where, as Karen can tell you too, 90% of the training is not about, these are the pictures. 90% of the training is, this is how you talk AAC in front of students, and so that they understand what,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to watch.
It is pretty amazing. And every time we go through it, like, oh, it's this easy. I'm like, it is
this easy. Yeah, super. Fantastic. All right. So if you have any further questions, we're going to move on to the next screen. But if you have any further things that you'd like to share, we would love to discuss them. We have about 15 minutes left until we definitely want to respect your time. But let us know. All right, so I think I mentioned earlier in this meeting that when you fill out the PGP form at the end, the response survey, and you tell us, what your takeaways are and what you would like to see, we listen. That is not a black hole that drops into. We definitely want to make sure that we are listening and valuing what you are looking for. So some topics that were suggested by you. You as a district and you as a state, were popular communication apps on the iPad and demonstrations, which we want to continue to address through AT Corner. And Jessica was talking about some extra webinar.
So I think this is probably worth addressing, offering a hour-long just overview. There seems to be like the 5 that keep on coming up over and over, the 5 that I would recommend that are not junk, that are worth looking at. Mm-hmm. So just a brief overview of like all the features and all, what makes it different? Why would you choose Proloqua to go over Touch Chat over Words for Life? What makes those 3 so different and unique? So we'll be offering that before school ends, definitely, for sure.
Okay, super. And then iStar and communicating an effective yes-no for testing materials. We hear the yes-no a lot, and it's extremely important because if you're not doing it on iStar, you're probably not doing it. And so for the iStar portion of it, we are going to have Karen Stein back next week or next session to talk about questions, and you can really pick her brain and see, if there's anything that you need to discuss at that point. And the next area is demonstrations of apps and switch use. So we're going to continue to do that through AT Corner. And blind, low vision, DHH, and severe and cognitive disabilities. Actually, it's even come up even once in this session already, because I think those are specialty areas, blind and low vision and DHH, and I feel like a lot of times we're struggling to figure out what to do with these types of learners. And so we're going to have Lisa Poff from Indiana Deaf Blind Services Project. She'll have a guest spot on the next meeting. So she's going to do a little recorded Q&A, but she's offered to take questions, and I think she's going to be a really great resource for us. And we also hope to have 2 of our patents members who specialize respectively in blind and low vision and deaf and hard of hearing to be able to answer some further questions. So please come with questions if you have them. We'll make sure that we post beforehand that those resources will be available for you to be able to ask questions. And then just a few extra things that we thought were really important. We're always excited when there's videos of successful AT or AAC users. And so if you have videos, we would love to share them out. Behavior management. Yeah, we haven't said this just once in our career that you can't communicate. You're probably going to have some type of behavioral issue if you are understanding that is impeding what you're trying to get across to people. So we'd like to tackle some behavior management tools, and this kind of goes along with Julie Kuhn's presentation that she's doing, but the UDL, the Universal Design for Classrooms and transitioning to different building levels, using AAC and what that looks like, because education is for all, and we need to make sure that, and we've talked about this repeatedly because we've gone to a lot of professional development on Universal Design for Learning and inclusion and all of these different topics, but when it comes to the kids in essential skills classrooms, I feel like that's where it kind of drops off. Oh, well, we've already figured out how it works for everybody but them. And it's not fair and it's not right. So we want to definitely delve more into what that looks like out in the classrooms. All right. So our next meeting will be Tuesday, April 25th. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we certainly hope you can make it. And again, we're featuring Lisa Poff and Karen Stein in that next session. Oh, Angela is asking, whoops, I have my mouse up. Oh, where did everything go? Sorry, I erased our screen for a second. Sorry.
Exactly is AT Corner. Is that the game? Oh, AT Corner is just
it's just that slide at the beginning.
So today the AT Corner was the AAC assessment list. It was just one section that when we toss it back to our colleagues at Patents, we have an AT Corner who has a resource to share. So
our previous AT Corners have been the communication matrix. Jessica has talked about
core word vocabulary.
Core word vocabulary. And it's just that 5-minute time at the beginning of our sessions where we say, this is your takeaway. Like you might be able to use this today if you want to. I love that you called it the gateway. that really
stuff.
is very, very a very cool image there.
I would say if there was a gateway into all this stuff, it would be our Facebook group.
Probably so. And also know that you can access these things on Patton's website as well. I was not a Facebooker. I was very off the grid, and I was frustrated with how many times things are posted there. But if you are on Facebook, definitely utilize that group. And we're trying to make sure that that remains public school teachers or teachers who support public IEPs.
So are these meetings ongoing? I had no idea about this. Yes, they are.
Yeah, we are trying to do this. Granted, we had about a 6-week interim between the last two, but we're trying to do them monthly, as long as people are attending and really wanting to be a part of this. And that's why we encourage you to bring questions and ideas. And we really want this, our whole goal is for this to become a very empowering session where we're not just blabbing resources at you. Although I think that there's like a good fair share of like exchanging of resources, but we want you to be able to support each other. I mean, you guys are all down, in the Southwest region together and might have a lot to learn and to collaborate within your region. So that's really what we would like to see happen with these meetings. Did that answer your question? And I'm glad you're here.
So if you want to see us again this time on April 25th.
April 25th. Or we could road trip out to you.
Yes.
All right. So please, if you have any further questions or, excuse me, I'm sorry. My whole family's getting over the flu. Jessica's thrilled about this and she's sitting next to me. But please feel free to still continue to ask questions or throw anything out. But we're providing over in the chat box the doc that will take you to your community of practice
to get your PGPs
certification. Gives us good information of what's happening after that. And if you don't want to click on that, you can always do the bit.ly, but it is cap sensitive. So you need to make sure that you get your capitalization in the right place. All right. So if there aren't any further questions, I am really, really excited that we had such a good exchange today, and we are still working on formats that are a little more natural. We will make sure that we provide information from our great questions from Leah about the transition assessments and some different ideas. We'll make sure that we get those ideas out to you that we didn't talk about today. And as always, you can email us, you can Facebook us, you can send a carrier pigeon to us, and we will definitely would love to talk to you further about any of these areas.
Yeah.
Or other areas that have to do with education. We've got a lot of people on our team who would love to help. So, all right.
All right, we're going to hang out just for a little bit longer, but otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. I'm going to flip back to our information pages just in case you missed them. There we go. There's Jessica. Bye, Karen. Thank you so much. Don't forget about the Twitter chat tonight. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.